Good morning, you guys. I hope you're all doing great. Today we're here for a really special tribute video. It's a video that means a lot to me because we're going to talk about my queen, my goddess, my inspiration. It's the first video I've actually done researches. I really wanted to do her justice. So let's get to it.
I'm crossing you in style someday. Audrey maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going.
There are so many things to say about Audrey. So first, I'm going to talk about her life as a child, as an adult, and of course, afterwards, I'm going to talk about some of her movies, not all of them because we don't have the time, but some of her movies that I've seen, I liked or I disliked, and some little fun facts or just facts for some of them. So let's get to it. Let's start with her life. Audrey was born on the 4th of May in 1929 in Brussels. Her father is Joseph Victor Anthony Hepburn Royston and her mother is Ella von Heemstra. As a young girl, Audrey didn't really have it easy because her parents didn't get along. Her father cheated on her mother with a governess, which ended up in both of them not really having a good relationship, obviously. When she was 6 years old, her father just left. And that really impacted her for the rest of her life. She said once, and I'm quoting, "If only I could have seen him regularly, I would have felt he loved me. I would have felt as though I had a father." Missing a parent growing up, it's complicated, and especially because her mother didn't really give her that much affection, which resulted in her being bulimic. She never saw her father again when he left when she was 6 years old. She only saw him once again, and it was in 1964. They just saw each other for lunch, and it was kind of cold. It wasn't everything she had expected, but it allowed her to move on. So when she was 10 years old, the war started, and she moved back to Holland with her mother, and she actually changed her name to Ella von Heemstra because Audrey was a bit too English, and her mother didn't want to bring attention to Audrey. When she was 13 years old, she delivered letters to the resistance hidden in her shoes, which is super cute, I think. Her mother and her were separated, but she never stopped helping. She even danced during the war because it was a way for her to, keep her spirit up and stay positive through this whole time. There was a point where she had to flee from the Germans. She couldn't stay where she was anymore, and she hid in a cellar for 3 weeks and 4 days with only a piece of bread and apple juice for 3 weeks and 4 days. And actually, that scarred her for life because that's when she started really getting underweight and she got really sick. She actually caught jaundice, and which resulted in a really low metabolism that would affect her till the rest of her life, really. Eventually, the war ended and mother and daughter got back together. They were close as ever. They moved to London because her mother wanted to sacrifice everything to make her daughter's dream come true, which was at the time being a dancer, and she got into Rambert School. And it was her dream, and she was an optimist about it. She believed that she would get there one day and she would be a professional dancer, but financially, her mother was doing so many different jobs and different shifts. She needed to contribute, so she decided to step back a bit on her dance career to focus on gaining money. So she did some little modeling jobs, some advertising, and she actually did a little scene with Alec Guinness, and she only delivered one line and she appeared only for 5 seconds, but he was so impressed by her that he decided to recommend her for only 5 seconds of appearance. That showed already how talented she already was without even knowing it. Later on in her life, so she was doing several little jobs of acting here and there, and she was at Monte Carlo she was on set for a movie where she met Colette, and Colette was looking for the GG for America, and when she saw Audrey, she fell in love and she said, "This is my GG for America." Audrey wasn't really sure at that time. She didn't know she was capable of doing it. But Colette reassured her and she told her, you're determined, you're a hard worker, and that's all that matters. And so she did it, and she moved to New York, and that's the beginning of it all. And fun fact, at first you could read on theater boards Gigi with Audrey Hepburn, but it would soon become Audrey Hepburn and Gigi because she was such a phenomenon at the time. So Gigi was her first Broadway performance that would actually boost her career. Career-wise, she was really happy because she was a hard worker and because she was really talented. But on the personal level, she wasn't that lucky. In fact, she actually had 5 miscarriages in her life, which resulted in her being extremely depressed. Because even though she loved acting, she wanted to be a mother and she had the impression she failed at it. Plus, she had 2 bad marriages. Her first husband was Mel Ferrer that she met on set. They had 1 son together, Sean, who was born in 1960. And the problem with their relationship is that Audrey was bringing so much attention to her. Of course, she was really talented. And Mel was kind of jealous of it. He didn't appreciate being seen as just Audrey Hepburn's husband, which I can understand. But somehow women have been feeling this for years. They're always like the wife of a man. But when it's in this way, it doesn't bother him. But when it's in the other way, that bothered him. But he should have been proud of being her husband and proud of her success. Eventually, it just destroyed their relationship because it wasn't healthy. He was too jealous. And she fought till the end for all of her relationships. She fought till the end because she didn't want to divorce. She wanted to believe that it could happen, it could continue. But obviously, it didn't. And after her first divorce with Mel, she got really depressed. She smoked 60 cigarettes per day. And she got really thin. And that's when she met Andrea Dotti, so her second husband. They had 1 son together, Luca. He was born in 1970. And once again, something was wrong. Andrea was a big fan of Audrey when he met her. He managed to make her happy again. The problem is, like I said, Audrey was really family. And she was fine with living in a little home, away from all the Hollywood artifice. She didn't like that. She would only do it for her job, to be professional. Problem is, Andrea wanted all the artifice, all the sparkles and everything, so he started being kind of bored. So did he love her? Was he with her only for the fame? We don't know. Eventually, they divorced. Nevertheless, it was really important for Audrey to make sure that her son kept a relationship with their father because she was deprived of it as a child. She wanted them to have all the love they could have, so she kept a good relationship with her husband. At 38 years old, she retired to take care of her sons, and once they were full grown, she became a UNICEF ambassador till the rest of her life. So that was in 1982. It was really important for her to use her popularity to help other kids, and because she was saved by UNICEF, well, actually it was called UNRRA at the time, during the war, she felt so grateful and she wanted to give back. She used the popularity to gain money, obviously, to help those kids. And that just shows what an incredible woman she was and how she had such a huge heart. That's why I love her, and that's why I think everybody should love her. And in 1992, she discovered she had cancer. Her good friend Givenchy decided to lend her his jet so that she could go back to Switzerland. And in 1993, she died peacefully. She had accepted her illness, and she was dearly missed. I actually have some quotes of people who knew her. She had accomplished everything with perfection. Givenchy. Beauty, loyalty, talent, friendship, infinite grace, and more. Givenchy. And fun fact, well, once again, not really fun, but fact, her friend Givenchy was actually one of the people who carried her coffin during her funeral. And that's really beautiful. So now we're going to start with the filmography, or at least the ones that I've seen, and to give you my opinion and also some fun facts of the behind the scenes. She was known to always stay humble, professional. She would know her scripts by heart. She just had an irreproachable attitude. There was even one director, I don't remember his name, but he would say that Audrey was safe, but not in the bad sense. It was really, you knew that she was professional and that she would deliver. Also, the reason why I'm still shocked when people tell me they don't know who she is that she was one of 60 people who got an EGOT, which is awarded to celebrities who have won all of the awards, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony, which she has. So how do you not know her, you guys? And she also had 3 BAFTA for the Best English Actress on a Leading Role. She had an Oscar in 1963 for Roman Holiday, which was actually her first real movie. So insane, you imagine? Then she got a Tony in 1964 for Ondine. Then she got an Emmy in 1993 for Gardens of the World with Audrey Hepburn. And then she got a Grammy in 1994 for Audrey Hepburn's Enchanted Tales. Fun fact about all these awards, she always felt like she didn't deserve them. She didn't deserve all the attention she was getting, which would actually, pressure her to being good. Before starting on the movies, in Audrey's own words, the characters she played most of the time, she would say, were romantic realists. First, I'm going to start with Roman Holiday in 1953. She was loved by everyone on set. First performance, she would win an Oscar. That's her co-star, Gregory Peck, who said this, and he's actually right. It was her first performance, and she literally got an Oscar for it. It was really a good atmosphere on set. Her and Gregory Peck had a good relationship. There was even a point, there was a scene who was totally improvised. It was a joke, a prank from Gregory Peck. And in the scene when she screams, she was actually screaming. She was actually terrified because she didn't know it was a prank. At that time, Gregory Peck was paid $1 million for his performance, and Audrey only $69,000. Now moving on to Sabrina in 1954. Givenchy actually dressed her in this movie, and when he was told he was going to meet Audrey Hepburn, he didn't know who she was. He thought it was Katharine Hepburn. But when he met her, he instantly fell in love with her doe eyes, and they became friends for life. And fun fact, he actually created a perfume for her called l'interdit, which means forbidden in French, because she had forbidden him to do it. But he did it anyways. Once again on the set, she was loved by everyone. She never went to theater school or practiced in front of a mirror. She was just born with this talent. Billy Wilder, the director of Sabrina. First day of filming, a small scene, everybody on set fell in love with her already. Billy again. Yeah, she was really loved by everybody. Except one, her co-star, Humphrey Bogart. But he was actually complicated with everybody on set. He would throw tantrums, he would ask to drink early in the day. He was really not nice, but especially to her because he didn't like all the attention she was getting. He was kind of jealous. Another man jealous of a woman's talent and popularity. But thank God she got along with her other co-star, William Holden, and they actually started falling for each other. Problem is he was married.
Oh, Sabrina, where have you been all my life?
Right over the garage.
Fun fact, I don't know if it's fun, but fact, once he told Audrey he couldn't have kids because he had a vasectomy, she dumped him. She just broke off the relationship because family was so important to her. He was so heartbroken, he said that he wanted to travel the world and sleep with a girl in every country. Nice. Now, funny face, in 1967, she was at the time so honored to play and dance with Fred Astaire. I mean, who wouldn't? And I quote, "When he puts his hand around my waist, it was like floating. It was everyone's dream to dance with Fred Astaire, and I had this chance." Problem is, once again, Fred Astaire was a bit jealous of all the attention Audrey was getting. Again, what are these men's problem? Just be so honored to work with her. Jesus. Once again, Givenchy dressed Audrey in this movie.
Hold! You look fabulous! Stop!
I can't stop. Take the picture.
Stop!
I don't want to stop. I like it. Take the picture. Take the picture.
beautiful. And even though there was tension between Fred and Audrey, well, actually only on Fred's side, Audrey was always very professional and she would never let those tension get in the way. They would still have a good connection, and when the dancing scenes happened, they were completely in sync. Now, Breakfast at Tiffanys in 1961. It was a role she wasn't used to play, and she wasn't really sure of it, but she took it as a challenge. And fun fact, the role was actually for Marilyn Monroe, and the director, Blake Edwards, at that time had nice words to say about Audrey. Audrey was unique. She had a kind of joyous nature. She was funny, dear, and disciplined. She was a hard worker. You always felt comfortable because she made it easy. And that's why most of the time on set she was loved by everyone, because that's who she was. And the director, Blake, made sure to keep a really good atmosphere on set. He would do some little pranks or make sure they would eat correctly. In this movie, there's a song, Moon River, one of my favorite songs.
Oh, dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbow's end, waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and me.
It was written by Mancini, and there's a fun fact is that there was new directors at Paramount, and when they saw the movie, they wanted to get rid of the song. Audrey stood up and she said, "Over my dead body." And obviously it stayed. Thank you, Audrey, because this song actually got an Oscar. Now moving on to the last movie, My Fair Lady in 1964. So contrarily to Rowan Holiday, she was actually paid $8.5 million for her performance, whereas her co-star Rex Harrison was only paid $200,000. But this role was actually one of the hardest roles to play for Audrey. First of all, because she had to replace Julie Andrews, who played Eliza Doolittle at New York with Rex Harrison. Everybody loved Julie Andrews. Eliza was Julie Andrews. Even though she was loved by millions, it was still complicated for her, and it wasn't a role that she was used to playing. She had to learn Cockney, and she was dressed, dirty. They put some fake mud on her face to darken her skin. They put grease in her hair, dirt under her nails. It wasn't really glamorous, and it was a really hard role to play for her. The problem also is that her singing wasn't good enough for the high notes of My Fair Lady, and she was actually doubled. They did a mix where she would start singing and then it would become another singer's voice. And when she learned she was being doubled, she just stormed out of set. But the very next day she apologized, because that's just who she was. She felt bad because she felt like she only did half of her job. It is kind of disappointing because watching the movie, you definitely see that it's not her voice, it's not her singing, and it doesn't really look good. But fans loved it. There was few critics, but it was a success. Fun fact, the only satisfaction she had when she was covered in mud and she played Eliza at the beginning of the movie was to wear the perfume L'Interdit from Givenchy, because you couldn't see that on TV. But nevertheless, she said that in this movie she had been able to wear the most beautiful dress in the world. So yeah, we are done. This video is over. I hope you liked it. I really enjoyed making researches on her. I used this book a lot, who taught me a lot of things I didn't know about her. I also saw a documentary on her on Prime. I actually had so many notes on her because I wanted to do her justice and because there are so many things to say. It was fun because it was about her and because I love her, and I hope you enjoyed getting to know her. I hope it made you want to watch her movies, and if it did, really you should. For all those reasons, that's why I love her, and that's why I'm gonna get tattooed her on my body, because I love her and I will forever love her, and everybody should love her because she was an incredible person. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Like, subscribe, you know the drill. See you next time.